Good evening. At this time, I ask that everyone please take a seat. On behalf of myself and the Lake Charles Regional Minority Business Chamber of Commerce of Lake Charles, we'd like to extend a welcome to you all for coming, and we thank you. My name is Parrish Burnett. I am the chairman, and I also am the only owner of Family Tire Care here in Lake Charles. And for our board at this time, I ask that y'all please come to the front. I would like to introduce our vice chair, Mr. Jimmy Thomas of Brightway Insurance, Ms. Dorothy Isles of Isles Medical Testing, and Ms. Kimberly Heckert, our treasurer, MBA. Thank y'all. And our first speaker of this evening is a genuine and dedicated advocate for the advancement of economic development within minority businesses. He has aided in building a strong foundation with strategic plans of action to help advance the economic impact of minority business across the state of Louisiana. Please welcome the CEO and president of the Louisiana Chamber of Commerce Foundation, Mr. David St. Etienne.
Thank you so very much. So before I get started, any of you that know me already, there's a sidekick to me, which is Kalisha Garrett. I don't know if I work for Kalisha work for me, whatever it goes. Come on up, Kalisha. Kalisha is the vice president and CEO, Louisiana Chamber of Commerce Foundation. Together, along with Kawana, which is our administrative director, and she pretty much directs us on everything to do from talking and walking. So Louisiana Chamber of Commerce Foundation, the mission and vision is to provide economic growth and development for minority chambers or black chambers of commerce throughout the state of Louisiana. If they already existed, then we enhance them in strategic planning and growth and programming. If they have not, we create them. In Lake Charles, we help create this one. We are so fortunate to have the team that we have as the board of directors of the Lake Charles Regional Black Chamber of Commerce. We are so fortunate to have the support of Mayor Nick Hunter and his staff, which has been tremendous in supporting us thus far. Also, to that point, when you look at the state, we're 40% minority, 30% black. You're over 50% obviously black in Lake Charles. However, that number is not reflected in economic opportunities afforded to blacks in Lake Charles. Why the mayor is here, why this board is created, why this chamber is created, is to increase that number and allow all minority businesses an economic opportunity to participate with the state, the school board, as well as the city, and as well as corporate opportunities. We also would like to say that one of our local sponsors here, Semper LNG, has been really active in supporting us to provide technical assistance to the minority businesses here. Kalisha now will speak about that in regards to opportunities coming forth.
So good evening, and thank you guys for coming out this afternoon. It shows a great deal of dedication and grit that you all have taken this opportunity to come out and meet each other, to understand the reason that this chamber exists and how you too can participate in it to make your business better. As we work with each and every one of you all and the board of this chamber, we hope to be able to provide to you the technical assistance and resources that are needed in order to grow your businesses, to expand the capacity, to allow you, if you are not in a brick and mortar, to move into a brick and mortar, or if you are in one, to then advance into online sales, to expand your business not only in industry, but in your consumer base in a regional aspect so that you can grow across the state of Louisiana. As David stated earlier, we do have 8+2 chambers that are in existence now. And I say the +2 because we have just recently established chambers of commerce in the Jefferson Parish region and in the Plaquemines and Bayou region. Yes, so they are going to be coming on board. You all have some partners in kind that are working towards the same goal that we are collectively here hoping that we can rise that tide, which is to increase the number of contracts and the profit margin that's coming to minority businesses that are located within the state of Louisiana. With that, our technical assistance is provided on a one-to-one basis in most parts, and it reaches you guys where you are. So we typically will take a survey, we understand the business, the opportunity that lies before you, and then we help work through those relationships, providing that support to your local chamber, having them be able to provide webinars and information sessions, or getting you set up for business to business, business to corporate, or business to each other, which is the one that counts the most. Because if we can do business with each other, spend dollars with each other, we can help each other's businesses grow and flourish and reach that point of success that we all got into business to actually attain. In addition, we are here today because
Vaughn, please come up.
we have a partner in New Corp that has come to the table. I'm going to allow Kawana actually to go through just a little bit of information as to how we got here today. A very historic moment with us being able to share this with you all, and the first of many to come as we move forward in fruition with what we are doing with this chamber in your region. Sorry.
Thank you so much. I want to bring to you Circle 7 Cattle and Crawfish LLC. It's a crawfish and cattle farm located in Iowa, Louisiana, in Calcasieu Parish. Antonio Duhan, the owner, takes pride in being a hands-on farmer who delivers a fresh product to commercial vendors and small local venues alike. He believes in increasing the quality of life for himself and his family by using his passion for farming as an avenue to creating a better future. Antonio intends to grow his e-commerce with retail for crawfish tails and expanding his farm by adding 40 acres adjacent to the original farmland. With the growth, he will employ several skilled workers and equipment to support the growth of all, while continuing to offer unique benefits of convenience, service, and warranty to his customers.
Thank you, Kawana. With that, I want to actually ask Ms. Vaughn Ferre of New Corp to come and say a few words. And we're definitely going to be very proud of this auspicious occasion.
First, let me say that it is my honor to be here to address this audience of folks, of entrepreneurs, of people who have the kind of courage that's required to do something because you just want it to happen and you want it to happen for you. And you know, so often we have had those desires, but never have been able to fulfill them because we didn't have the monetary methods by which to use those as a vehicle to get where we wanted to go. Well, let me start by saying I'm Executive Director and CEO of New Corp, which is a community development financial institution. It's an institution that is designated by the Treasury of the United States, and it's specifically designed to help people who ordinarily cannot go to the bank. There are two kinds of CDFIs. There's one that is attached to a bank, that gives the bank an arm to do something in good faith. They don't necessarily do that anyway, but that's the purpose. But for me, I'm what's called a loan fund. And so I'm in a position to be able to be very flexible with some of the loans that I'm willing to make to the people that I want to make sure have opportunity and access. So, and I met a few of you as I walked in earlier. Thank you for sharing your story. You were very open. And I also saw the diversity in the group. And there's a woman who called herself a developer, and just let me tell you, that really struck a note, okay? Because we're looking for developers, especially black developers, not especially, almost exclusively, black developers, and it thrills me that you're a woman, excuse me, gentlemen, but the opportunity to come to Lake Charles and help them develop home ownership for people who would ordinarily not be able to do that is really a privilege. But let me be very honest with you that the artery that brought me here was the chamber. And one of the things that impressed me most about these guys and this business chamber is that we definitely are on the same mission. And so, and now you have many, many ways that you can get to your end, and just use us up. That's what we're here for. So thank you again, and thank you, sir, for giving me an opportunity to really,
I really appreciate it.
to do something in Lake Charles right away, and giving me an opportunity to work with these folks right away. So I look forward to hearing from all of you, but please get to me by way of Kawana. And then because we want to make sure we keep the pipeline. Yes. We want to know who comes in and where you come in. Because, I mean, you know, that's all the better that we can do. And all you do is really, and the harder you work and the better you do, does nothing but give us an opportunity to bring you more and more resources. I think you all know that being an entrepreneur is hard work. And so, it's certainly not for the weak. And so I, again, commend you on what you've done, and thank you very much.
So with that being said, we would like to acknowledge that Antonio Duhan, Circle 7 Cattle and Crawfish, will be receiving and have been approved for funds from Newcorp so that he can acquire the equipment and land that is needed to increase his productivity, increase his sales, increase his business. And that is what we are here for. So congratulations, here you are. Very easy for you to get this check. This check was cut yesterday and driven up here today to be put into your hands, and definitely want to give you an opportunity if you want to just share, because look, last time we came here, we went and got on his boat. We had rubber boots. It was in the rain, and it was fine.
I want him to share, but I want you to know that these people sat in my office day before yesterday and convinced me that I needed to do this for yesterday.
So that's how fast it happened. So here, I'm going to give you this, because this is yours.
Real advocates here.
Right?
Thank you.
We'll let you speak.
Yes. Hello, how y'all doing?
Doing good.
I'm Antonio Duhan, the owner of Circle 7. I think it was January or February, Mr. David and Ms. Kwana came out and they rode the boat with me, and they wanted to know what would it take to make me better, and for them to drive from New Orleans to come get on the boat with me, and it was raining.
And Parrish.
Yeah, and Parrish also, he was there also, yeah. So, they came out and rode the boat with me, and they was just so amazed to see how much work it was. Mr. Day was asking a lot of questions. I was like, dang, I hope I don't say something wrong. So, but he asked me over and over, what it would take to make my business better. And I really appreciated that, because nobody really takes the time to know what will make it better. They just want to know how much money you're making, or what can I do for it. But they really wanted to make it better. They helped me get a website built. They helped me get this check that I'm going to add 50 more acres to my farm. That's right next to me already. So I really appreciate it, and I can't thank y'all enough. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you
All right.
so much.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, man.
So I don't know what the next part of the program is. We done.
We're done.
Yep.
Oh, you want us up? Okay. Oh, my God. So I get the honor and the privilege of introducing the best mayor you ever had in life. And I got to say this, and let me be real clear about this, and it sounds funny, but we met Mayor Nick Hunter, oh God, how long ago was that? In this hotel, Industry Day, last year, and I brought a whole team up. I only traveled with the A team. That's the only team I have. Brought the team up, and after Industry Day, they went on to the bar and the restaurant, and I saw them over there, the whole team, by Mayor Hunter. And I said, okay, let me go over there. So I go over there, and he goes, I said, hey, I'm Davidson, 18, blah, blah. He goes, look, you don't need to say anything. Your team already did it. So I looked at him. I went, okay. I got me a drink, got my cigar, and I went outside. And then he came outside. But he goes, hey, they did it. He says, man. Right. And I said, really, so what do you want to do? He says, look, let's follow up with and that. I said, well, we got a
Fast
business
forward.
innovation center we'd like to do.
The man put
that could house minority
everything,
businesses,
and along with
provide,
Kimberly Delafonte,
obviously
I'll
shared
never
office
forget that.
space, provide
behind his
training,
word.
conference rooms, so forth, so on. He goes, that's a fantastic idea. I like to support that. So you do. He says, I'll support it to the tune of $225,000. I said, oh, you will? He says, look, we got to put it for a council vote. I said, what we will do is apply for Economic Development Agency grant of $416,000 to do the planning, and then we'll go to state and apply for $1.6 million capital outlay. Well, lo and behold, he put it before the council. We had meetings with some of the council members a couple of days before we get to the council. It was a 7-0 vote in favor of building a business innovation center for youth. And this started with the mayor, right? So EDA, by the way, has said they're approving. They've got, it's in legal right now for review. It's ready to come out. We're still fighting that capital outlay piece. We're listed as a P5. We got to get it to a P1. And we're still working that one. And so we will build it on the north side of Lake Charles specifically for you. But this started with Mayor Nick Hunter. So at this time, without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you, for those of you who don't know and those of you who do, Mayor Nick Hunter.
You already got the money from the city. You're trying to butter me up, man. I think next week. I think next week he's gonna come back, ask for a little more money with that introduction. So, ladies and gentlemen, can I be real with y'all tonight? Is that okay? I want to start off with a story about growing up in a small business. I grew up in the restaurant business. And I'm sorry if some of y'all have heard this story before. I've been in politics for over a decade now, so you start to tell the same stories over. But this is a true story. When you grow up in a small business, you live it, you breathe it, you bleed it. I mean, it's who you are. So I grew up in the restaurant business, and I remember I would go home after school, and I would be in the bar, hanging out with people probably 3 times my age. You know, they'd be watching ESPN, I'd be doing my homework at the end of the bar. And I would hear lingo in there. I didn't really understand all the words I was hearing. But it just shows, how much a sponge a young person's mind is, because it was Family Heritage Week, and I was going to a Catholic school, and I came home and asked my grandmother, okay, what's my background? And the next day I was supposed to show up at school and tell Miss Nunez's, I think it was 3rd, 4th grade class, what my family background was. So my grandmother, Mrs. Hunter, told me, you are half Cajun French, you are 1/4 Spanish, and you're 1/4 Scotch-Irish. So keep in mind, in the restaurant business, I'm hanging out at the bar every night, just doing my homework at the end. I'm drinking a Shirley Temple, I promise you. And so I went into Miss Nunez's class the next day, and I told the whole class, I said, my name is Nick Hunter. I am half Cajun French, 1/4 Spanish, and 1/4 Scotch and soda. That's what I told Miss Nunez's class. And then the next day, it was, what does your dad do for a living day? And so you're supposed to come in and tell the whole class, well, what does your dad do for a living day? So, I would be, again, at the restaurant, and I would hear these guys talking about these bets and watching ESPN, and I'd be hearing them getting excited about putting some money on a game. And every morning before school, my dad would take me to the bookkeeper. And every morning, depending on the night before, if it was a heavy cash night, he'd give the bookkeeper money. Sometimes the bookkeeper would give him money if we were cash poor. So I went into school the next day, and I told Miss Nunez's class that every morning my dad takes me to the bookie. Every morning my dad takes me to the bookie. Sometimes the bookie gives him money. Sometimes my dad gives the bookie money. So Miss Nunez called my dad after that, and she said, "Sir, what is going on in your household?" He said, "I'm sorry. We're in a small business. We own a restaurant." And so that's just the way it is. If you're in a small business, you live it, you breathe it, you bleed it. It is who you are. And I'm going to be real with y'all again for a second. I'm a history major. I have a history degree from McNeese. And I think anyone that really studies history and is honest with themselves should be able to say publicly that really in America, especially in the South, we're really just maybe 1.5 generations past Jim Crow. And that still affects us today. And it affects the opportunities that have been made available for people of color in the South. It affects the opportunities that have been made for people of color all over this nation, but especially here in the South. I recognize that. I don't have every answer for it, but I make the commitment that I recognize that, and I do believe that we need more equity in this community, in this state, and in this part of the nation. And so I have always been open for conversations about what more can we do. When I came into office a few years ago, we established several economic development districts, one on the lakefront, which is the lakefront here in Lake Charles is really kind of everybody's lakefront. But we established another one on I-10, and we established another one on Enterprise Boulevard. Since that time, even with all that we've been through over the last couple years, which it has been a terrible environment to try to start a new business, to try to see any economic activity in the last couple years, One thing that I'm very proud of is we fought for a company called Acadian Ambulance to locate on Enterprise Boulevard in a building that had been blight to the community for many years, a building that had been vacant for many years. And that building now serves as the regional headquarters for Acadian Ambulance here in Lake Charles. Over 100 jobs were created in that neighborhood, and the EMS Academy for this area is located in an underserved LMI black neighborhood here in Lake Charles for Acadian Ambulance. And that was because we pushed those economic development districts and pushed those incentives. We have, thank you. We have another local gentleman who just built a strip center and located a billiard supply business, local business here in Lake Charles. And we have a restaurateur that just opened up a business along I-10. So the job is not finished. The box is not checked, but we're getting there. We're making some strides. We have a long way to go, and especially all that we've been through the last couple of years, I think it's tough. I mean, it really is tough in this environment. But every morning we got to pick our heads up and we got to move forward. So I can tell you that since I've been mayor, I don't know if I've had a better group of people to really be honest and bold and hash things out than the Louisiana Chamber of Commerce Foundation. And when I have people come visit me in my office, a lot of times they're saying, I need you. They're pointing at me and saying, I need you to do this, X, Y, and Z, and that's the end of the conversation. When I visited with David and Kalisha, it was, I need you to do this, and by the way, we're going to do this. We're going to go do this. And they followed through, and I committed to them that we would set aside a couple $100,000, and they would go out and seek some grant opportunities. And we're not there yet, but I can see the finish line, and I commit to everyone in this room that I think we're going to have some good announcements in the near future. So David, Kalisha, the entire Chamber of Commerce Foundation, thank you for what you do. Everyone in this room, please know my door is always open. And if I can do anything to help any of your businesses, we want to be a part of that here in Lake Charles. We have some major economic powerhouses here in Lake Charles. We're standing and sitting in one right now. The industry across the river, those are good things. However, what really makes a community, what gives a community its flavor, its character, are those small, locally owned, homegrown mom and pop businesses. And we need those to come back, and we need new ones here in Lake Charles. So I offer my commitment to you this evening to reaffirm that I'm here for you and I will be here for you. Thank you. Thank you, please.
Thank you, Mayor Hunter. We thank you for everything you've continued to do for us. And our next guest speaker is the owner of Mike Bell Bonds and the founder of Higher Vision Foundation. He's also the Calcasieu Parish Police Juror for District 2, Mr. Mike Smith.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Mike Smith. I'm the Calcasieu Parish Police Juror for District 2. District 2 encompasses North Lake Charles, Moss Bluff, and the eastern part of Lake Charles. And most of that area that Mayor Hunter spoke about for development is in my district, which is considered North Lake Charles. Myself, I was born and raised in North Lake Charles, lived there most of all my life. I did go to college in Lafayette. I finished at USL back in the day, but I moved back here. My family, my mother and father, they were business owners. They ran a club also in North Lake Charles. So that was back in the day, it was called Sweet Dreams. So I've always seen the economic entrepreneurship in my family. So that's something we want to continue. But the main thing I think is to get it done earlier with the youth of the area. You want to try to catch them young and teach them exactly what to do and what not to do when it comes to business. Anybody can go down there to City Hall and get a license and get an LLC and open a business, but the real goal should be to open a business and maintain a successful business. That should be the goal. So that's something we need to start early by teaching our youngsters early in life to be your own boss. Also, with the parish, we also have a human service division. And I tell people to come in and apply for non-profit grants because we have, I hate to say it, we have tons of money. And sometimes, if that money is left there after the fiscal year, we have to send that money back to the government. So I encourage, people to come out and apply, because you could always apply. You may get a no answer, but if you don't apply, you never get what you really deserve. So that's one of the things we need to work on, is getting these nonprofits more funding so they can come into the area and also make the area grow. Also, I've all found out, we, at the parish level, we do a lot of business. We have contracts that go into the tens of millions. And when I look who do receive these contracts, they are not any minority companies. And I question it a lot, but they basically said some of the minority companies, they don't apply. Now, I don't know, are they not here or available or anywhere? Because, we are rebuilding this whole parish from ground up, but yet and still we have no minority people come in and try to apply for this money. So, one thing I did learn that they do in other areas like Baton Rouge and New Orleans, some of these minority companies come together and form larger companies. You may have like about 4 or 5 owners of a small business. They come together and join one large company so they can go after those $1 million contracts, because that's exactly where the money is at. I did speak to a small business owner. He told me, we can't afford the insurance, so we don't apply. I mean, why are you tripping over pennies and small cents? So you're never really going to get to the larger dollars until you have those insurance and have those licenses and have that bonding power. So there's something we got to work on, because sometimes, like I say, they're not guaranteed to get the contracts after they purchase the insurance and purchase the bonds, but life is a risk. It's kind of like going to the casino downstairs and putting in $1 and expecting to win 100,000. Life is a risk. So that's one of the things we got to work on, is trying to get our minority companies to probably, come together, like I said, and form larger companies so they can go there. Upcoming, they got the actual bridge they building. That's over $100 million, probably almost to $1 billion, they say. So some of that money needs to go to minority contracts. So that's one of the things I'm definitely going to work with, trying to get that done, trying to get the word out to other companies to come in and try to form, probably like I said, make a company in order to try to qualify and apply for those grants. Apply for those contracts. So I do welcome the actual incubator system to North Lake Charles, because that's something we definitely need.
Hold on, so you telling me that Calcasieu Parish Police Jury is going to support it financially?
Well, I definitely back it. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind saying. I don't mind saying it. If you don't ask, you don't get.
Exactly.
So I don't mind going to the table. Well, I'm telling you, I don't mind going to my fellow jurors and asking them, for money for this. You know what I'm saying? So I tell everybody, come before us, give us the plan, and we'll go for that. So.
Man, Nick, you heard that.
Hey, well, it's definitely on record right here. It's on record. So, I'm definitely happy this organization is forming. That's something that we definitely need. And, good things are coming, because right now, the hurricane hit us and it put everybody on the ground floor. So this is a great time to join this organization and grow. And one thing I will do myself, I will challenge all my minority elected officials to actually join. Because one thing I always say, we can do things together, and my motto is always, together we can. So that's something that really going to really bring us all together, is economic growth for the area, because that's something that we really need and we have to have, along with also housing. Housing is on top of the list. But join the organization and watch us grow, and we're definitely going to blossom. And my name is Mike Smith, and thank y'all.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Our next guest speaker is someone who I personally hold in high regard. He has been a phenomenal servant to not only our communities and schools locally, but across the nation. His role as a leader showcases his endless passion and desire, end quote, to move forward, onward, and upward, of which inspires and gives encouragement to all. He is an entrepreneur, city councilman of District A, and congratulations on your most recent added title of professor at Reach University. I present to you Principal Coach Ronnie Harvey.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone for having me on today. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm just going to be short. I'm going to be brutally honest. I don't want to be redundant based off what everyone else said, but I just want to say that what's inside this room is what success looks like. And a lot of times when we're searching for things, all we have to do is just simply look to the left and look to the right, because all the resources that we need to be successful in business is sitting right here in this room. I first want to speak from being an educator. I think a lot of the issues we have is that we're not properly educated on things. There's never been a shortage of resources, truth be told. It just seems like it's more and more available now, and there's a reason for that, but I think we have to educate each other on how we get it. For example, if we're trying to get funds and things like that, listen to me. You don't have to be the most articulate person or the best grant writer or the best speaker, but when you look to the left, there's somebody who can help you with that. When you look to the right, there's someone who can help you with that. We talk about marketing, and I'm just gonna put a couple people on the spot, and I'm sorry if I miss anyone, charge it to my heart. But when we're trying to get the word out, you're looking at Eric Tees and you're looking at James, and these are people right here in the room. You're trying to get a publication out. You're looking at Miss Teresa Belloy. You're trying to get an artistic perfection. Like, I'm gonna just say this, one of the artists that I feel like he hasn't gotten his credit due, and that's Mr. Derek Thornton. You're looking at people around the room, Antonio Duhon. You're looking at people, and I don't want to miss anyone, but y'all, the resources that we need is right here inside the room. I'm here to tell you, like, all you have to do is start where you at. We have to stop expecting things where they're not and start accepting them for what they are, and let's grow it from there. That's the educator side of me. But I definitely want to say we have to reach back into the youth. My goal as a principal, and my students can tell you this, my class of 2022 will tell you this, I will say this to them on tomorrow, but we have to keep making sure that these children are college and are career ready. Everyone is not going to college, and I think we're selling our children short by forcing them to go to universities and college, which they're accruing lots and lots of debt. When they are ready, thank you. When they are career ready right now, they are entrepreneur ready right now. I can tell you right now, in the class of 2022 at Washington Marion, we have several millionaires that's waiting across the stage on tomorrow, because these kids are innovative and creative. They just need an opportunity. They need a platform, and they don't have to go searching for the platform. They don't have to go Google that platform. There's people in here that can help us reach that platform. So again, I'm asking that you take the talent that you do have and invest it into our youth. Doesn't matter what community you're in, but I'm gonna be biased. I'm sorry, District A, North Lake Charles, I'm a product of that community. So yes, we do need more in that community. From the entrepreneurial standpoint, listen, never be disgusted. Many people may see me now, but you don't know my story. And I credit my beautiful wife for that, but many people didn't know, but I sold shrimp out the back of my truck. And I would drive to Intercoastal City and take about $400 of my earnings from being a teacher. And I would get as many shrimp as I can get. And I learned that from a good neighborhood friend by the name of Charles Avery. If you know Charles Avery, you probably bought shrimp from him before, but he gave me the idea. He just said, hey, Harvey, you know, man, if you take about $400, man, you can go and come back with about $1,000. He didn't give me the direct information as far as percentages or bottom line or profit. He just told me, basically, man, you can go make about 60% of the money that you invest. That was my first experience as an entrepreneur. And I did that for like 2 years, standing in front of Triplets Grocery, just selling shrimp. It was stinky sometimes. It was, but I knew that I had an opportunity to take something that was nothing and make it mine. You know, everyone laughed. Man, I can't believe he's a teacher, he's an educator, he's selling shrimp. But what people didn't understand, I was making more money selling shrimp on a corner legally, okay, than I was making being an educator during the day. So again, never be afraid or shy away from the talent that you do have. I hear a lot of times people say it's a saturated market, or it's this, it's that, it's so many of that. Listen, you are uniquely created. You have it, just like you have a social security number or an EIN number or a tax ID number that's different from anyone else in the room. Understand that your product is the same thing. You got to believe in yourself first, educate yourself on how you can make it grow. And again, get with some of these people in this room that can market it for you. We have the resources inside of this room. Now, as a city councilman, and Mayor Hunter, please correct me if I say something inappropriate, but I want to say that my goal is to work for you. It's not to work for myself. I've told people this time and time again. I did not I did not want to be elected to be that person that just got a title. I feel like I have a lot of titles. You know, you can ask my wife, that's probably why I'm hardly ever home. I think I have a lot of titles. I wear a lot of hats, but it's also, I understand my why. And my why is always to improve the life of others. And I want you to understand, as a business owner, I would hope that you always remember that your why is deeply rooted within your customer. Some of the times we as small business owners get a knock because we don't have the best quality, we don't have the best customer service. and we're not always consistent. So a lot of times, all we have to do is just simply remember our why. Even when the numbers are soaring, when business is great, understand that we never know when Hurricane Laura is going to come again, hopefully no time soon. But we never know we're going to have historical flooding. You never know if there's something like COVID-19 will ever pop up on us again. Because as a business owner, I can honestly say there was no book that prepared us for COVID-19. There was no book that prepared us for Hurricane Laura, and there was definitely no book who braced us for Hurricane Delta coming right behind it. There was no book that braced us for historical flooding. There was nothing. In fact, when we talk about the historical flooding, if it wouldn't have been for Mr. James and Ms. Dorothy right there, I wouldn't have even known my building was flooded. Talk about communication within the room. So what I want you to understand is, like, use the resources that we have, make them stronger, make that foundation solid. And then you have beautiful people like yourself. I truly thank you for what you're doing, because you truly are a blessing. And I'm telling you, we need people like you to not only lean on, but to count on day in and day out. I promise I was going to be cognizant of your time, but this is something I'm truly passionate about. And when I say being an entrepreneur, because that's deeply in my DNA. I wanted to be an entrepreneur because I knew that my mother could simply make a great gravy. And those of you who know my mother and know that we have Full Dudes Cafe and Catering Company, I truly felt that she was the best cook ever. Was she the best cook? In my eyes, I mean, if you look, my suit is kind of tight. I think she's a great cook. But at the same time, I wanted to understand, I wanted to be that kid from the North Lake Charles area who said, hey, he started a business for his mother. He started a business so that my mother didn't have to go and clock in for anyone. I didn't want my mom to have to depend on whether the business was slow and they had to send her home and reduce her hours. I wanted her to be able to control her destiny. And that was my sole purpose in that. Listen, if I, being a kid out of North Lake Charles, being a product of public school education, coming from Cherry Street, Rady Molo, graduating from the Washington Marion Magnet High School, and give my family an opportunity, give my family an opportunity to experience what true entrepreneurship is, anybody can do it. I'm just asking for those of you who are already successful in your business, reach back, get these youth, train them up. Like we always talk about train up a child. We've been saying this for a while. It's in the book. I can't go that way. But at the same time, you guys understand what I'm saying. We have to truly start training these children up because they truly are our future. And I'm telling you, just like someone gave you a chance, bless somebody else and give somebody else a chance. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Principal Coach Ronnie Harvey. And our last speaker will be Mr. Jay Goday from True Funding Bank. He's a commercial lending and real estate expert.
Well, good evening, everybody. And I just want to thank y'all for having me. I'm here from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and I just want to tell you I go to a lot of events like this. And all of you that are from the Lake Charles area, I want to just say that you guys are truly blessed. And I want to give a round of applause to everybody that spoke before me, because this is truly an environment that is on a track for economic development for minorities. So I just want to go ahead and give a round of applause for that. Secondly, I want to acknowledge Mr. Antonio Duhan and Ms. Fourier. Excuse me if I messed that up, but I'm sorry. But the reason I want to acknowledge it because that is truly a testament of exactly what I started my journey on 13 years ago. So I'm a commercial real estate and financing expert, but my passion is Black economics. Let's give it up for Black economics. So because of the fund that she created, he's able to expand his business with 49 acres, which is immediately going to change his net worth. So for the time that I'm up here, and I promise you I'm going to try to be brief, I want you to remember two words: access and assets. Raise your hand if you ever applied for a commercial loan or a business loan or any loan. Raise your hand if you got denied. It's okay. A lot of us have been there. Raise your hand if they actually told you afterwards how to come back and get approved. One hand. And that was where my work started. At 21, I became a real estate investor. I purchased a duplex with my mother on a bond for deed. If anybody don't know what a bond for deed, that means that you don't have to go to the bank and get the money. You got an agreement with the owner, and whatever y'all worked out, that's what the scenario is. Well, at that point, I'm like, hey, I'm in the game. I know what to do. Try to do it again, go to the bank, I get declined. A couple years later, my wife and I are in a business together. Our CPA told us, hey, y'all had a pretty decent year. Y'all should be able to go to the bank and get $100,000. So I did that. I got declined. Both times I was never told exactly what I should do to go ahead and get the yes. So that told me personally, y'all, by my graduate degree is in criminal justice, so I became a little bit of an investigator at that point. I said, well, if I really need to understand what this market really is, I need to kind of infiltrate the system. So I need to partner with CDFIs, lending institutions, banks, to understand what is really happening when these profiles come across the desk, to understand how they're underwriting to minority businesses. And that's what we did. We worked with these institutions to find out what's really going on. So my relationship with TrueFund, when TrueFund developed this RAP program and an RLF fund to be able to offer to minority-owned businesses to purchase commercial real estate with almost no money down, it speaks to the testament of Antonio, because they said, well, if we're going to be able to really help the minority community, it starts with access and it starts with assets. And we all know that they don't always work interchangeably. A lot of times I'm sorry, I forget his name, I don't remember his name, but he said, the resources are there, but we don't always have the education. A lot of time we walk into the resources and it's like we're walking into a maze. So that's what we look to change. We look to change the fact that the resources are there, we need to get the education, and we need to make sure that the resources are accessible. So what we've been able to do with TrueFund in the last 6 months is to be able to help 3 minority-owned businesses purchase commercial real estate, immediately changing their net worth with almost no money down. Anybody that ever been in the commercial real estate space knows that that's unheard of. Because if you can't come to the table with at least 20, sometimes 25 to 30% equity, you can't even have a conversation. And that was where I came from. I couldn't even have a conversation. I had a lender tell me, and my wife said, if y'all don't make at least $10,000 a month, then you might as well not even talk to me. And that could be discouraging for a business owner that's building their business on their back. So for me, when it came to black economics, I said it had to start with access and assets, because anybody in this room that went to look for went to apply for a loan, raise your hand if they asked you, well, what do your assets look like? That's a question. What do your assets look like? It's not even always time, what do your revenues look like? What do you have for collateral? So when we talk about 2 industries that minorities have been extremely marginalized since Jim Crow, that's the reason. That's the reason why I stand here today, because the motivation is just that. It's the ability to break the barrier for assets and access. So I just want to say again, thank y'all for having me. It's been a great pleasure to visit this city for the last couple of days, and I look forward to working with you all in any capacity I can. We service the entire state, and that's our goal. Our goal is to get more ownership, more access, and more assets. So thank y'all for having me.
That was powerful. I want everybody, my vision for the night was that everybody leave here feeling empowered and have a sense of motivation that no matter what happens in your business, there are resources here. Exhaust all of them, because you never get the chance to know, if you don't, that you could have been successful. And I'll be real brief, real quick about my business. Me and my brother-in-law went in business 2 years ago, and we took a leap on faith. And all we had was 1 tire machine, 1 balancer, and some used tires, and everything was used. And Mayor Nick Hunter came, did a ribbon cutting. He encouraged us, gave us some powerful words of encouragement to just keep looking forward to the success that you can have. And don't worry about when it's not going the way you want it to go. It's business. It's going to happen. You're going to sweat. You're going to cry. It's going to be all right. Just keep pushing. And we kept pushing. And whatever industry you're in, exhaust all the avenues in your industries. Don't limit yourself to just one stream or one thing that you can do. Exhaust everything. And we were blessed to go and have our business increase revenues 3 times from what it was the second year we were in business by exhausting all avenues. So everybody just stay encouraged and keep pushing. And we thank you all for coming. We thank our guest speakers for coming. And it was just encouraging. So
You want them to all join.
I'm gonna get there. I'm getting there. Let me butter them up a little bit. But we have something special for everyone in the minority businesses here in Southwest Louisiana. We are offering a 3 months free membership to join the Chamber of Commerce here in Lake Charles. So we want everybody to have the opportunity and just be like, oh, I don't know. We want you to try it out, give it a chance, see how it can help you, because there are a lot of resources here for us, and everyone is willing to help. And that's the thing that we don't get often, people that's willing to help. And we have a team with David, Kalisha, and Ms. Kawana. They have done a tremendous and great job. Could y'all please give them a hand? We thank y'all for everything y'all done. And at this time, Mr. Jimmy's going to come up and tell us and do a closing for social hour.
He has a fun part.
Good evening, everyone. First, I want to thank everyone for coming out today and just give yourself a round of applause, just the opportunity. Just like they said, I'm an owner, my name is Jimmy Thomas, owner of Brightway Insurance here in Lake Charles. For all your insurance needs, give us a call. Commercial, residential, notary service, Texas and Louisiana. So. But like Parrish was saying, we just appreciate the Chamber from New Orleans and just all their insight and just the help that they give us, and just it be some conversations going on and just learning about this and just trying to empower our people. And the main thing is information is everything. Sometimes the lack of information stops you from a whole lot of things, and I know that for myself, so we're willing to learn. So as he said, we have 3 months free membership. You can drop your business cards in a basket outside, and also we got a QR code you can scan. We got a paper application for those who don't have the cell phones and everything. So at this time, we just want to thank everyone, and
I died, they never could. Not like you, oh me, oh baby. Love never felt so fine, and I died, it's never mine. Not like you, oh me. And the night is gonna be just fine. Gotta fly, gotta see, gotta be. I can't take it, 'cause baby, every time I love you, in our life, in our baby. Tell me if you really love me, in our life, in our baby. So baby, 'cause love never felt so good. Oh, baby, love never felt so fine. And I died, it's ever mine. I like you, hold me, oh, baby. Love never felt so good. And I died, it never good. And I like you, hold me, and the night. Gotta fly, gotta see, can't believe I can take it, 'cause baby, every time I love you, it's in our life, in our baby. Tell me if you really love me, it's in our life, driving me crazy, baby. Love never felt so good, oh good, oh baby. Love never felt so fine. And I died, I know mine. Not like you, oh, oh me, oh baby. Love never felt so good, and it died, it never could. I like it, oh me, and the nights that is good. Gotta fly, gotta see, can't believe I can take it, 'cause baby, every time I love you, it's in on my life, in on, baby. Tell me if you really love me, it's in on my life, driving me crazy, 'cause baby, love never felt so good. So we never felt so good. So no, it never felt so good. Never let me be. Felt so good.
Well, hey there, Miss Lady. Damn, you're looking good to me. Tell me you feel like talking. Tell me you need some company. I see that ring on your finger, but I see you left your man